Like what we do? Support the channel by becoming a Patreon member. Link is in the description below. Thank you as always, and please enjoy the story! Slumping in the passenger seat of Becca's car, Ross looks vacantly out the window. He knew for the next few days he'd have to pass as a girl, but that wasn't what was immediately worrying him. "Becca," he says, reaching up to his ear and gently feeling his earrings. "Is it supposed to feel sore?" "Is what supposed to be sore?" Becca asks, concentrating on the road in front of her. "They hurt," Ross continues, pulling aside his long blonde hair to show her his ear. Giving him a quick look, then turning back to face the road, Becca grins. "You're overreacting," Becca replies, grinning wider. "I think they look cute on you." Shifting around in his seat, Ross tries to loosen the tight jeans he's borrowed from Becca. They are clinging to his body so very tightly. "These jeans," he groans. "So tight around the legs and my thighs. I feel it's all getting crushed." Not looking over at him, Becca moves a hand and places it gently on Ross's knee. That pair is quite tight around the thighs, I admit," Becca agrees. "I brought some skirts if you want to get into something more comfortable. You could wear one of my patterned skirts with some pantyhose." Giving her a suspicious look, Ross can't help but think she's trying to wind him up. "Did you pack any of my clothes for this trip?" he asks, tapping the top of the hand that she has rested on his knee. Staring at Becca's face as she goes bright red, he instantly knows the answer is a no. "So, then I am to dress as Joss for this entire trip," he sighs, sarcastically flicking his long hair. "Oh, stop," Becca declares, giving him a sideways smirk. "I know you're enjoying it, Ross. I saw you taking those selfies back at the last gas stop." "I wasn't," he quickly replies, stumbling on his words. I was checking to make sure, that my ears weren't bleeding from these silly earrings." Silence for a moment, as Ross clenches his teeth and waits for Becca to respond. "You don't have to worry when around me," Becca explains, turning to give him a quick smile. "If you want to let your feminine side out and enjoy it, no judgment here." "What's that supposed to mean?" Ross instantly replies, turning to look out the window in a huff. "It means," Becca says softly, but still concentrates on the road ahead, "I'm not going to judge or think anything different of you if you want to enjoy acting like a girl for the next few days. I won't think differently of you if you want to wear racy underwear. I won't question your outfit choices at all. I won't even be concerned if you play up the inevitable attention you'll get from men." "I'm not going to do that!" Ross defensively snaps back. Okay, Becca answers, giving him a more serious look. "I'm just saying I love you, and nothing you do will make me wonder about your sexuality. In fact, I will be proud of you for experiencing more than the average man. You're getting to literally walk in my shoes right now." "Why are you proud of me?" Ross questions, pulling at his tight, feminine jeans once more. "Why?" Becca giggles. "Yeah, why?" Ross wonders, playing with his hair. "When we were fooling around in my room, you weren't scared of letting me put the makeup on you," Becca tells him, looking at him every chance she could get. "So?" Ross gripes. "I'm sure I'm not the only boyfriend who's had makeup put on them by their girlfriend." "I bet most boyfriends would freak out if they found out it wasn't coming off," Becca giggles. "Most would have been absolutely furious. You just took it in your stride and even agreed to wear my clothing to pass as a girl." "Did I have a choice?" Ross moans, pointing at his pretty-looking face. "Yeah, you did," Becca retorts. "So you're a boy wearing makeup. It's not that uncommon." "I looked silly," Ross whines. "Wearing your clothes and pretending to be a girl was the only option we had." "Sure," Becca sarcastically responds. "I suppose I forced you to keep giving that guy flirtatious looks in the cafe. I suppose I also forced you to get your ears pierced." "I wasn't flirting with him!" Ross squeals back, his voice going high-pitched. Giving him a sideways glance, Becca doesn't say anything further. Ross sighs and folds his arms tight. Neither of them says a word for the next half an hour as the sun sets and their first day's driving comes to a close. "Here's the motel," Becca says, pointing out the car window at the crummy-looking building. "Ugh," Ross replies, giving Becca a concerned smile. "Looks like it may have seen better days." "It's all I can afford," she replies, turning the car into the car park and pulling up out front. Allowing Becca to go get the key, Ross waits patiently in the car. He felt bad not going with her, knowing that some sleazebag probably ran the place, but he wasn't feeling confident and didn't want to cause suspicion. After a minute or two, Becca returns and grabs their bags from the trunk of the car. "We are room 12!" she shouts. Making their way to the room, they swing open the door and find it looking like a throwback to the 1980s. Old-looking TV, tired-looking furniture, and very colorful walls. "I guess this will do," Becca uncomfortably laughs, pushing Ross inside. "At least it's cheap." Slamming the door closed, Ross rushes to shut the blinds and then lets out a long sigh of relief. Unbuttoning his skinny jeans, he unceremoniously pulls them off and discards them to one side. Taking off his borrowed leather jacket, he airs himself and his smooth, bare legs. Stretching out his body, he stands half naked in just his borrowed top and feminine underwear. "That's better," he bellows, giving Becca a content grin. "Wow! Straight down to the undies," Becca giggles. "Are my jeans really that awful to wear?" Strutting around the room confidently and without worry, Ross turns and gives a nod in reply. Poking his head into the bathroom, he turns back and smiles. "Actually doesn't look that bad," he smirks. "I think I'm going to have a bath and maybe shave my legs." "Really?" Becca says, walking over to look at the bathroom. "Is it because you want to wear a skirt tomorrow?" "Spot on," Ross replies, rubbing his thighs. "I think it all needs airing out down there tomorrow." Becca giggles as Ross gyrates his hips playfully right in front of her. "Stop!" Becca sniggers, pushing him away. "Someone might burst in and catch us." Ross's face quickly turns serious. He frowns and covers himself. "You don't think that will happen?" he asks, looking nervous. "Do you?" "I have heard of places like this with secret cameras," Becca continues, trying to hide the fact she's poking fun. Ross crosses his legs and hides his lower area. "They might be watching," he squeals, covering himself more. "I better act like a girl in here too, right?" "Yeah," Becca smirks, nodding her head in agreement. "If you think that's for the best." "Probably is," Ross answers instantaneously. "If I go bathe in that, do you have a nightie or something I can change into that will hide my male body from the cameras?" Walking back over to the bags, Becca brings them over to Ross. "Here." She passes them over. "Razors and leg moisturizer are in the top pouch." As Ross takes hold of the bags, he uncrosses his legs and stands more firm. "Joss!" Becca giggles, nodding to signal he's out on display. Quickly shuffling into the bathroom, he shuts the door. Hearing the taps running, Becca decides to get comfortable on the bed. 20 minutes later, Ross comes open the door with a waft of steam surging into the room. Having washed his wig and put on Becca's oversized t-shirts, he stands femininely with his hands on his hips. "That was an experience," he says, holding out his smooth legs. "I thought shaving my face was bad. Trying to shave my legs in that pokey bathtub was a nightmare." Becca jumps from the bed with excitement and rushes over to him. She couldn't believe just how cute he looked with his messy wet hair, perfect makeup, and super smooth legs. Pushing her body against his, she leans towards him and kisses him on the lips. Putting his arms around her sides in response, Ross passionately kisses her back. As they kiss, Becca pulls back and looks at Ross with a bashful expression. "So," she says, looking down at the floor and tucking her hair behind one ear, "since you're dressed like that, I don't suppose you want to give it another go?" Now looking him in the eye, she gives him a shy, but happy smile.
You mean...
Ross replies, holding her tight against him. Yeah, Becca cheers, kissing him softly on the lips. I've got it in the bag. I promise I won't be too rough this time. For a moment, Ross thinks. Anxious, Becca looks deep into his eyes with love and lust.
I guess so,
he answers, causing Becca to bounce on the spot with excitement.
Just make sure you listen when I use the safety word this time.